doing a science experiment on myself. Deep dive for the week has been blood sugar and also a little bit of cortisol stuff. Anyway, that's besides the point. So, pretty much, the experiment is about blood sugar and how different forms of longer form cardio, or what I consider longer form, is probably, that's, depends on who you are. For me, 60 minutes of non-stop movement is a long form cardio. Before I worked out, I took my blood sugar. I got one of the little pricky things. I did 2 forms of longer cardio sessions. Okay, today I jogged for 60 minutes without stopping. Okay, just a light jog. It was at like the speed of 5 on the treadmill, 12-minute pace for an hour. And after I finished that, I took my blood sugar, and then I did an hour of more resistance. So after I finished my jog, I took my blood sugar, and it dropped, right? Which makes sense, because like if you are somebody who has diabetes, or if you know somebody who has diabetes, most of the time they're told to, like, hey, after a meal, go walk. And that's just like a general thing for a lot of people that they do to keep your blood sugar kind of even and not have high spikes, low drops. However, at the same time, when you're doing more like high intensity type exercises, you're actually going to have more blood sugar released into it. So more aerobic type stuff, you're probably going to see a better drop in blood sugar. That's why a lot of runners and stuff, like long distance, like marathon runners, are taking carbs while they run, because they see a quicker drop in blood sugar, especially after, depending on the person, how in shape and how their body is functioning at the moment. Usually around the hour and a half mark, okay, they're really going to start to see a drop, like quick drops, instead of a slow, steady decline. And so anyway, besides the point, you go look at more high anaerobic stuff. So maybe you're doing strength training, and you're just really trying to work on power moves. Okay, let's say we're trying to do that kind of stuff. You're going to see an increase in your cortisol. Oh my gosh, blood sugar, because your body is being signaled that it's going to need more energy, more power, quicker. Okay, so instead of just like a steady release and use like you are for aerobic training, you are kind of doing like, okay, dump, use type thing. And so you hear a lot about like running up hills, stairs, stuff like that. That is working a lot more muscle, like running works muscles. Like those people have a ton of muscle, okay? But it's like it's more like muscle endurance type stuff rather than muscle like I don't know, like power. Okay, I think trying to put this in better words. And so yeah, so what I did is I go upstairs for an hour, okay, 60 minutes on the stairs, and I do that all the time, okay? So like I can go through that, and then I can have like a 2-hour workout after that and feel great, okay? Like strength training, to me that's a warm up. Like I feel, that sounds cocky and crazy, but I don't mean it like that. Like I literally, like I get on there without doing anything else, and I just go really slow, at a pace that's not really pushing me in any way, almost like I'm just simply walking leisurely up a flight of stairs. Okay, I did that for an hour, okay, yesterday, and I noticed that after I took my blood sugar again, it actually increased. So it kind of, my body treated it more of like an anaerobic type thing, which I will say I did kind of fluctuate the speed, but only by like 1 or 2 numbers, like I was staying at like a speed of, once again, like 5. I got up to maybe 7 for a few moments, just however I was feeling. That just felt like cool. I got some sweat going, but like I wasn't feeling like I'm burning all my energy completely out. And so I noticed like after both of those workouts, I felt about the same, right? But after the jog, my body depleted glycogen, whereas the stairs, I've had more of my body treated like, okay, we need more, so I'm going to release more glycogen in the blood for your muscles to use. Which I've also noticed that after I do stairs compared to when I do running or anything else, I have much better lifts. And I think that's why, because I think I like the glycogen gets released quicker. And that was something I noticed before I even thought about this. Like, I'm like, okay, well, when I'm going to bench heavy, then I'm going to do stairs. And maybe that's because it involves less arm movement. Like, when you're running, you're kind of swinging your arm. And on stairs, they're just kind of there, you're just getting blood circulating. Maybe that's part of it. But I honestly think it has something to do with how like my glycogen gets released in that moment. And so if you're a nerd and you like stuff like that, I hope you enjoyed my little spiel and my little self science experiment. I'm not done yet. I have other things, but we're just going to keep going until I stop hearing random theories on my podcast that I listen to. And yeah, have fun. Clear on and like add to that is like when I do my heavy lifts and I feel like the stairs is benefiting me. What did I just say? Anyway, when I feel like the stairs are benefiting me, I only do the stairs for like 20 to 30 minutes. So my next like experiment thing is like I'm going to check it after 20 or 30 minutes stair warm up, like I usually do on heavy lifts, whether that's squat, not that I really love squat, or deadlift, or bench press, or even just like pull-ups. Like if I do the stairs before compared to running or anything, like I can usually do and increase the amount of stairs. And another thing is I'm not really a bike person. I want to know, is the bike more similar to a stair or more of like a run type release of that? And so, but anyway, when I do the stairs for the warm-up, I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm just have a thought, that like maybe after the 20-30 minutes, that's like the initial like dump, because that's when I really start sweating. Like after 15-20 minutes, that's when I get upstairs, when I feel like my sweat is starting to, like, I can feel it, I get off. And with that initial dump of like the sugars being released, glycogen stores being released, that's what helps my lift, because if I were to try to lift super heavy after an hour, would I hit the heavy weights? No. But on this, I feel like that's what's helping me. I gotta go. 104.